Look, I'm about to break the bro code here, and honestly, I don't care anymore. Because someone needs to tell women what men are actually thinking but will never say out loud. And before you come at me with, not all men or whatever, save it. This isn't about all men. This is about most men. The ones who smile and nod while you're talking but are screaming different thoughts inside their heads. The ones who've learned that honesty gets punished, so they just shut up and deal with it. You want to know why your relationship feels off? Why he seems distant? Why he doesn't open up? It's because he tried once, maybe twice, and you destroyed him for it. So now he keeps his mouth shut. And what I'm about to tell you are the 7 things running through his mind that he'll take to his grave, rather than say to your face. Number 1. He's tired of pretending. Your career is more important than his every. Modern man has been programmed to celebrate his woman's success. Your promotion? Amazing, babe. Your business idea? So proud of you. Your girl's trip to Bali for your career development? Of course, go, I'll manage. But here's what he's not saying. What about my shit? When do I get celebrated? When does my career matter? I know this guy. Let's call him Mike. He's a software engineer. Makes good money. Working on a startup on the side. His girlfriend Lauren is a marketing coordinator. Not knocking it. Solid job. But every conversation at dinner parties, every social media post, every family gathering, it's all about Lauren's career. Lauren got Employee of the Month. Lauren's working on this big campaign. Lauren. Mike could have invented the cure for cancer and people would still ask him, "So, how's Lauren's job going?" He told me once, after a few beers, "Bro, I closed a $500K deal last week." Know what she said? "That's great." Then immediately went into how stressed she is about her PowerPoint presentation. That's the reality. Men are expected to be cheerleaders for their women's careers while their own accomplishments are taken for granted or, worse, seen as threatening. But if he says anything, if he dares to suggest that maybe, just maybe, his career goals matter too, he's insecure. He can't handle a successful woman. He's intimidated. So he shuts up, smiles, and says, "I'm so proud of you, babe," while dying a little inside every time his achievements are footnotes in the story of her success. Number 2. He doesn't want to hear about your exes. Ever women do this thing where they think talking about ex-boyfriends is casual conversation? It's not. Every time you mention your ex, even in passing, even as a joke, even as a comparison to show how much better your current boyfriend is, he's taking psychic damage. But he can't say anything because then he's controlling or insecure. My ex used to take me to this restaurant. Cool. He's now thinking about another dude feeding you. My ex was terrible at communication, but you're so good at it. Great. Now he's being compared to someone who failed, and even the compliment feels like a test. My ex and I went to Paris once. Fantastic. Now Paris is ruined forever, because it's contaminated with the ghost of some other guy's dick. I had this conversation with a buddy who's been with his girl for 3 years. She casually mentioned that her ex was really into hiking and they used to go every weekend. My friend loves hiking. It's his thing. But now, every time they go hiking, he's thinking about her doing the same trails with another man. She killed his hobby with 1 sentence, and she has no idea because he'll never tell her. Men don't want to know about your exes because we're not secure enough to handle it. And guess what? That's okay. We don't have to be. The expectation that men should be completely unbothered by their woman's romantic history is insane. We're human. We have egos. We have imaginations that create detailed revenge scenarios in our heads. So when you bring up your ex, we smile and nod. But inside, we're creating elaborate fantasies where we're clearly superior to that dude in every measurable way. Number 3. Your friends are exhausting, and he doesn't want to hang out with them. Oh, this is the big one. Your friends. You know Sarah, who's been single for 5 years, and gives relationship advice like she's Dr. Phil? Or Jessica, who's on her 3rd divorce but still tells you what red flags to look for? Or that one friend who's openly said she thinks your boyfriend isn't good enough for you? Yeah, he hates them. All of them. But he can't say that. If he says, "I don't really vibe with your friends," you'll hear, "He's trying to isolate me from my support system." So he goes to the brunches, he attends the birthday parties, he smiles through the passive-aggressive comments and the not-so-subtle suggestions that you could do better. Here's what men know but won't say. Your friends are actively rooting for your relationship to fail. Not all of them, but enough of them. Misery loves company, and your single friends don't want you happy in a relationship because it reminds them of what they don't have. Your unhappily married friends don't want you happy because it shows them their own relationship is trash. So they plant seeds of doubt, they point out flaws, they create problems where none exist. I watched this happen with my cousin. Great relationship, like genuinely solid. But his girlfriend's best friend kept making comments. He doesn't post you enough on social media. He should take you on more trips. My boyfriend would never let me pay for dinner. Just constant comparison and criticism. Eventually, the girlfriend started believing it. Started fights over Instagram posts. Started complaining about not traveling enough even though they were saving for a house. The relationship ended. And guess who was right there saying, "I told you he wasn't right for you." The same friend who's been single for 7 years. Men see this. We watch your friends poison your mind, but we can't say anything because then we're the bad guy trying to come between you and your friendships. So we bite our tongue, show up to the group dinners, and secretly hope some of them move to another state. Number 4. We don't care about your social media aesthetic. The amount of time, energy, and emotional labor that goes into your Instagram feed is baffling to most men. We genuinely do not understand why you need 40 takes of the same photo. We don't get why the restaurant choice depends on how it looks on camera. We can't comprehend why our anniversary dinner has to be interrupted 17 times to get the right angle of your pasta. But we participate, because if we don't, we're unsupportive. If we refuse to be your personal photographer for 30 minutes while you find the right pose, we're not being a good boyfriend. If we suggest maybe just enjoying the moment instead of documenting it, we're being dismissive of your interests. Here's the truth men won't tell you. We think it's ridiculous. We think the obsession with likes and comments and aesthetics is a waste of time. We think the carefully curated version of your life you present online is false advertising. We think the hours spent editing photos and writing captions could be better spent literally anywhere else. Know guys who've missed parts of concerts because their girlfriend needed the perfect video for TikTok. I know dudes who've stood in the cold for 20 minutes holding her purse while she poses in front of a wall. I know men who've had vacation experiences ruined because the entire trip was designed around Instagram content rather than actual enjoyment. But we don't say anything. We just hand you the phone, take 70 pictures, tell you which one looks best, and die a little inside each time. Because modern dating apparently requires men to be professional photographers, social media consultants, and ego boosters for an audience of people neither of you will ever meet. Number 5. We notice when you gain weight, and it matters. Boy, here we go. This is the nuclear option. This is the thing men will never ever say out loud unless they have a death wish. But it's true. When you gain weight, we notice. And yeah, it affects attraction. Now before you rage close this video, hear me out. If he's gained weight, you notice too. Don't lie. You notice when his belly gets bigger, when his face gets rounder, when he's not as fit as when you met him. The difference is society lets you care about that. You can suggest gym memberships, make comments about healthy eating, even refuse to be intimate until he gets back in shape. But if a man does any of that, he's shallow, fat-phobic, and emotionally abusive. So men just watch. Watch you go from the girl they met at 140 pounds to someone they don't recognize at 200 pounds. Watch you stop taking care of yourself, stop dressing up, stop putting in effort. And when attraction fades, because yes, physical attraction matters, they're the bad guy. They're shallow. They should love you at any size. And sure, emotional connection matters, personality matters, but let's not pretend physical attraction doesn't exist. I've had friends tell me their sex life died because they're just not attracted to their girlfriend anymore. But they can't say that. They can't be honest. So they make excuses. They're tired, stressed, not in the mood. They avoid intimacy and let resentment build, because the alternative is being labeled a monster for having basic biological responses to physical appearance. And the flip side is true too. If he gains weight, you're allowed to be turned off. You're allowed to want him to get healthy. Society backs you up on that. But if the roles are reversed, he's supposed to find you beautiful at any size, and any suggestion otherwise is grounds for immediate cancellation. Number 6. We're one bad day away from walking out. This is the one that'll shock you. Your man, the one who seems committed, who talks about future plans, who's been with you for years, he's thought about leaving. Not just once. Multiple times. We all have. There's a moment, usually during a fight or after a particularly exhausting day of dealing with relationship nonsense, where we think, what if I just left? What if I just walked away from all of this? And we run the numbers in our head. What would life be like single? More money, more time, more peace. No arguments about whose turn it is to do dishes. No having to check in constantly. No emotional labor of managing someone else's feelings. We fantasize about it the way you fantasize about your celebrity crush. But we don't leave. You know why? Because the alternative is starting over. Dating again, dealing with new crazy, building from scratch. And also, there's probably something good here too. Something worth staying for. But that doesn't mean we don't think about the exit. We do. Often. I remember my friend Dave telling me about a fight with his wife over something stupid. Probably what to watch on Netflix. He said he just sat there thinking, I could be in my own apartment right now, watching whatever I want, eating whatever I want, not having this discussion for the 400th time. He didn't leave. He's still married, but he thought about it. For a solid 30 minutes, he mentally planned his exit strategy. And here's the thing women don't realize. When you push and push and push, when every little thing becomes a fight, when nothing is ever good enough, you're pushing us closer to that exit. Every we need to talk, every dramatic overreaction, every time you blow up our phone with texts when we're just trying to have a night with the boys, you're making that fantasy more appealing. Men have a breaking point. And we're really good at not showing you how close we are to it until one day we're just gone and you're shocked. It came out of nowhere, you'll say. No, it didn't. You just weren't paying attention to the man who stopped fighting back, who stopped arguing, who started agreeing with everything you said. That's not him becoming more mature or learning to communicate. That's him checking out emotionally while his body is still present. Number 7. We don't actually want to talk about our feelings. The biggest lie modern society tells men is that we need to be more emotionally open, more vulnerable, more willing to share our feelings. And then when we do, when we actually open up, women lose respect for us. We become less attractive. Suddenly we're too emotional, too needy, too much. Men have learned this lesson the hard way. Open up about insecurities, she sees weakness. Cry in front of her, she loses attraction. Talk about fears or doubts, she questions if you're man enough to handle life, so we stop. We go back to being the emotional rock because that's actually what you want, even if you say you want us to be vulnerable. I've seen this pattern destroy good men. They open up like society, and their girlfriend told them to. And within months the relationship is dead because she can't respect a man who shows vulnerability. She says she wants emotional availability, but what she actually wants is a man who's stable, strong, and doesn't burden her with his problems. Here's what women don't understand. When men say, I'm fine, we usually are. We've already processed whatever was bothering us internally. We've worked through it with logic, found a solution, or decided it's not worth worrying about. We don't need to talk about it. We don't need to analyze every feeling. That's not how we operate. But women think if we're not talking about feelings constantly, something's wrong. So they push. What's wrong? Why won't you open up? Why don't you share with me? And we're sitting there thinking, nothing's wrong. I just don't need to have a 2-hour conversation about my emotions every time I'm slightly stressed. My buddy got laid off from his job. Devastating, right? His girlfriend kept pushing him to talk about his feelings about it. He didn't want to. He wanted to update his resume, network, and find a new job. That's how he processes stress, by taking action. But she kept insisting he wasn't dealing with his emotions properly. She needed him to cry, to be vulnerable, to let her comfort him. When he didn't, she accused him of shutting her out emotionally. He wasn't shutting her out. He was handling his shit like men do, by fixing the problem rather than dwelling on feelings about the problem. So men learn to fake it. We pretend to open up just enough to satisfy you, but we keep the real stuff locked away. We give you the PG-13 version of our thoughts and feelings while keeping the R-rated truth to ourselves. Because experience has taught us that full honesty isn't rewarded, it's punished. These are the 7 things men stay silent about. Not because we're repressed or emotionally stunted or afraid of intimacy, but because we've learned that speaking these truths out loud has consequences we're not willing to deal with. We've learned that women say they want honesty, but really want a specific kind of honesty that makes them feel good. So we smile, we nod, we say what you want to hear, and we keep the real thoughts buried where they belong. And maybe that's healthier anyway. Maybe some thoughts are better left unsaid. Maybe the peace of silence is worth more than the chaos of truth. But now you know. Now you've heard what we're actually thinking. And the question is, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to create a space where men can actually be honest without consequences? Or are you going to prove exactly why we stay silent in the first place? I'm betting on the latter, because people don't really want truth. They want comfort. And the truth is rarely comfortable.